This full glam is going to be on my YouTube channel for all of my Poke Bear girlies that have been wanting like a makeup routine. This is my full beat glam, and this is the makeup that I am going to have on camera. So go to my YouTube, check it out, take a screenshot. It looks airbrushed. I started in beauty, so I'm actually a makeup artist. I kind of just progressed to cooking because I have a love for both, but that doesn't mean I can't do my makeup well. So my skin has been really dehydrated lately, and I'm gonna use the Dukes, whatever, their eye cream to prep. So just a little bit. You actually don't need a lot. My skin has been really dehydrated, so I have to really have good skin prep before I put my makeup, or it's just gonna separate and fall apart. And that's really important. And you have to let your skincare kind of sit before you do your makeup. I used to do my makeup so differently back then. It used to be so heavy, 2016 era. But now, you know, we still have a beat face, but it just looks like more skin, like really natural. For those of you that don't know, I have my eyebrows microbladed and also laminated. So to kind of get the look that I do, take that into consideration. I do have like really medium coarse hair, but they were never this thick. I make them like this thick. I always like them when they're standing upwards. And I'm gonna use a gel. We're gonna use the La Roche-Posay Vitamin C because yes, we need this. Air Angel Hydrating Cream, game changer. 2 pumps, and I like to mix it with the Drunk Elephant Bronzing Pollution Drops. So, like that. Mix it really well. It's gonna look like this. La Roche-Posay sunscreen. So it's a couple layers of things. It's really thin, very liquidy. Now we can start on the makeup part. I'm gonna do the Got To Be styling gel for my brows. Put a little dollop and then grab this is the Real Technique 600 brush. I'm gonna use the spoolie and go in and then go upwards. And then kind of brush them slightly to the side. I like these hairs to be really upwards, almost this way. This one like lacks a little bit more hair than this one. And then go towards the side. Grabbing some baby wipes and just kind of taking off the excess gel because I don't want to see it through my foundation. I'm using the Makeup Forever Pore Minimizer Step 1 Primer, and I'm just gonna really use it on the places where I get oily, which is here, top of my brows, my forehead, and always right here on the sides of my nose. I don't do it under my eye because then it'll look really, really dry. The Fenty Beauty Contour Stick in Amber, a 1. And I like to start kind of high and then just bring it in a little bit. Same thing on the other side. I like to put it here, 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 and then I like to bring this down and here. That's where you should be contouring. NARS bronzing cream in Laguna 02. And I'm using a synthetic flat brush like this, going over it. And then going on to the forehead. And I'm gonna do the lips. So just contour. And then go in the nose. Bring it up to the eyebrow. Now, your nose contour will look different for everyone. I have a little bit of a longer, kind of tipped, skinny nose. So I also don't want to make it too skinny because then I'll look like Michael Jackson. But I definitely want to eliminate like this tip. Okay, so that is where my bronzer goes. I'm doing the House Labs concealer in the color 13 Neutral Light, and I like to use 2 concealers. So I like to go here and here. Same thing here. Here. On the forehead. And on the chin. And this is a concealer that's closer to my skin tone. And then after I blend it in, and after my foundation, I'll do a slightly lighter one. I really like the NARS Insatiable Afterglow liquid blush. And it's this beautiful like red color. It's like plummy red. And it just melts beautifully onto the skin. So pretty high, like so, like that. I'm doing the Rare Beauty mist, I guess, before I blend it out, just so I can get it a little bit wet. And I have the Real Techniques 200 brush, and it's kind of this like flat angled brush. And I start blending, tapping motion. And don't be scared that it doesn't look perfectly blended, because we're gonna go over it with foundation and it's just gonna look so beautiful. So if you look kind of crazy right now, don't worry about it. I like to start with the contour first and the bronzer, and work my way around. And I leave the concealer for the end. Using the Bella brush. I think this is like one of my cheapest brushes, but I love it, to blend out the contour here really lightly, and here, and then my lips. So you can see there's still a little small line. It's not extremely blended, which is fine. blend out the lips. And then I have the Haus Labs concealer brush, and I'm gonna go against my nose, kind of lightening up the sides. And you never want to go and blend this. I like to have like a sort of this crisp kind of look so it could look lifted. So I always just kind of blend it upwards and never the entire thing, because there's still a little bit of bronzer there left, right? So, and these are all tapping motions. You don't want to like streak it, because then you're just pushing the product everywhere. Okay. Laura Mercier foundation in the color 2N1 Cashew. I'm a hard neutral, so I already know my undertone, but you can be yellow or pink or olivey. So I'm just gonna, literally you need 2 dots of foundation and that's it. So 1 dot of Laura Mercier and 1 drop of Haus Labs in 200 light medium neutral. This one's a little bit darker. Okay, do you see that? That's all you need. I used to use like 5 pumps of foundation, so I think it's crazy. Mix it, put it on a really dense flat brush. This is the Delium Tools 957 Precision Kabuki brush. Okay, and we're gonna do nice swirl motions. I want to keep a little bit of the contour and the blush, so I lightly go over it, but I still leave this. So I'm just blending it and making it less harsh. Over the lips. This nose contour is still too harsh, so we're gonna blend that out with another brush. Don't forget your neck. Gonna blend out this contour a little bit. Only 2 dots of foundation, and we still have some left over because I think that is enough and it looks great. Now I'm gonna go with a lighter concealer. This is the Fenty Beauty We're Even Hydrating Longwear Concealer in the shade 140N. When it comes to concealers, I never use yellow concealers. I like to use concealers with a pink undertone, so either pink or neutral. And this really, really light one, I just want to brighten up this part of my eyes and a little bit on the forehead, just to bring some dimension. That is the only part that I'm lightening. It just looks gorgina. It's insane. Look at the blend. And I think it really is super hydrating. Bring a little bit up to the eye. I am going to set my concealer with a pressed powder. This is the Fenty Beauty Universal Powder. So after I just blended it, I'm gonna go in just to lightly set the eye. Excess powder. Tap, 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 tap. And then I'm gonna go in and bake it while I'm putting the rest of my powders. Look, it already started creasing a little bit. Go back in and then set it with the pressed powder. Okay, anything else you wanna lightly set would be around the nose and the forehead and right under this contour. You guys are gonna think I'm insane, but when you're on camera, I think you could just see everything. So powder makes you look really like airbrushed and like matte. The Haus Labs Bio Blurring Loose Powder. And I don't really like the packaging. I kind of struggle with it. So I like to just dump it onto the counter. I have the kimchi little puff powder. I like to grab the powder and then kind of evenly distribute it on my hand and then go in and bake it. And it's the same direction you put your concealer. So pat, pat, pat. Okay. Make sure you're contouring, baking the nose. For my specific face shape, and this might work on other people, especially if you have like a rounder face and you want to look more chiseled. I'm gonna start baking here, but instead of bringing it up to my nose, I'm gonna bring it down. So here, down. And it's gonna give you the most snatched look, like that Bella Hadid jawline situation without getting buccal fat removal. Same thing on the other side. Need the forehead. Pat, pat. Try not to mess up the brows. I like to go and put powder here, right? So it just looks like I got a chin implant. Like, oof. Side profile. Side profile is giving what it needs to give. Done with the powder for now. I'm gonna do the MAC Painterly pot. This is Painterly. And I'm gonna grab a brush and lightly start priming my eyes. I do my brows last because they're pretty much just kind of done. So, prime, prime, prime. Patrick Ta neutral palette. I'm gonna use these two shades to start just putting kind of like a neutral base around my lid. I'm gonna do kind of this like editorial liner. So really neutral, and just blend. This is like a nice flat kind of fluffy brush. Maybe I should do it over here so you guys can see. To go with a really fat, big, fluffy brush, go in with this gray kind of brown and start using it as your transition color. And be really light-handed to go all over your lid. I'm sorry, not all over your lid, on top of your lid where you have that bone. I'm liking how that looks. And to deepen it just a tiny little bit, I'm gonna use more of a pointed brush, use a darker brown, and just go on the outer part to try to deepen it a little bit and blend upwards. And it'll look a little bit more defined. A little flat brush. I'm gonna go in with the gel and I'm gonna close my eye and just start making a wing, bringing it out. Okay, like so, like that. And probably keep it as thin as possible. I'm gonna connect them to do kind of like a half wing. So okay, I like that. So that's where we're gonna keep it. I don't want to bring it all the way down here, and then I can fill it in a little bit right here. So this is just with the gel. After that, I'm gonna use powder. So same thing on the other side. Grab the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in medium brown, and yes, I still use this because yes, it's so good, but I use the smallest amount. So really, really thin angled brush, and I like to press it like this. Okay. And then I like to just draw little strokes here. We're also gonna take the Anastasia Dark Brown Powder Duo, and I like to take the light shade and fluff it up here in the front, kind of define the bottom. I don't like the brows looking too defined because this whole look is like wispy, so just a little bit. And then towards the end, or any like bald spots that I see, put a little bit of powder. Okay. So now I'm gonna take the MAC eyeshadow in the color Sandstone and use it as my contour powder. So I think this is, I forgot what brand this is, but here, very lightly. It's like ashy. You don't want to be too orangey, especially on camera. So really light all over the forehead. House Labs bronzer in the color medium level 8. And then I'm going to use an angled brush, lightly, just right here, a little on the chin. Okay. And with this same MAC powder, I'm going to contour the nose really lightly as well, so I don't look overly contoured. A little here in the bottom to give a shadow. I'm taking the Sephora colorful blush in Sweet on You, and it's like this really pretty like orangey, kind of like scarlety color. Same fluffy brush, and just on the outsides, kind of dab it. I'm using the Sephora 99 brush. I'm gonna do the MAC Rosy Does It blush and press it on top. Dab, 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 go a little bit towards the center. We're giving it a lot of dimension, lots of different colors layered on top. They're gonna look beautiful. The MAC Cheer Up blush, a little bit more towards the mid cheek here. And then the MAC Totally Synced blush. It's like a light pink. And right here next to the nose, towards the eyes. This blends so beautifully together. Okay. Now I'm taking the Makeup Forever 01 Ultra HD Compact Micro Finishing Press Powder, and I'm going to start dabbing it under my eyes because I want these to be bright, nice and bright, and we're going to start melting it all together. Make sure you're gentle, but this is gonna be what makes your makeup last all day, these powders, because it's gonna take the skin to break down the powders first and then go into the liquids. Rest of my face, I'm gonna do the Pat McGrath, I don't know what color this is, but it's pretty close to my foundation color. And with the same brush that we used, we're gonna start bringing this powder a little bit upwards so the line doesn't look so harsh. We're gonna go in with 2 more blushes, I know. This is the MAC Burnt Pepper. Another layer on top. House Labs highlighter in Rose Quartz. I'm gonna use a little highlighter brush and kind of just stay here in the middle. I don't want to bring it out yet. Here. And then start slowly working your way. I don't like to use so much highlighter anymore. The Fenty Beauty in Pearl highlight, and this is like a liquid. Not a liquid, but like, you know, it's wet. Kind of go over the brush and then lightly dab. And it just looks fucking gorgeous. A little bit here and on the nose. Setting spray. Let it dry. And then I'm going with the One Size setting spray and go heavy-handed. Lashes are already lifted, so I'm not gonna curl them. And this is my favorite mascara, the Voluminous Million Lashes. I think it's by Maybelline. Okay, and then mascara. Gonna put them on my bottom lashes too. I'm gonna add them to the corner. Little inner corner highlight. Just so my bottom lash doesn't stay completely blank, add a little bit of brown. So I'm gonna use the Sephora lip liner in the color Molasses. We're gonna blend it out. We're gonna put a little bit of powder all over your liner. A red lipstick. This is Ruby Woo that I've just depotted by Rihanna. And place it just in the center. Put a clear balm on it. This is the Youthful Lip Replenisher by Revision Skincare. And this shit is thick. Like, I don't know if you can see. Thick. And it'll last all day. It's also minty. This is the final look. Everything is done by me.